Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is how to prepare for what's coming. We keep hearing over and over again, dark winter, dark winter, dark winter, right? Okay, and I've talked about this quite a few times, but do you know how to prepare for it? So that's what I want to talk about today. Winter is getting closer and closer and closer. We're in fall right now. So let's talk about this, okay? The EU, the UK, they are going through it right now. And before it hits us, let's talk, okay? So as the weather gets colder and we head into winter, it's important to make sure that we are prepared for any kind of an emergency that may come our way. So, a dark winter, what does it mean? It is a term that is used to describe a winter with the potential for widespread power outages, whether it's man-made, it's natural, whatever the case may be. Now, blackouts can occur when demand for electricity exceeds the available supply, or when the transmission and distribution infrastructure is damaged by severe weather, or in the case of certain countries, war. A prolonged blackout can have devastating consequences, especially for vulnerable populations such as the elderly and those with medical conditions. A dark winter can also lead to shortages of essential supplies, food, fuel. In some cases, families may be forced to go without heat or light for days, weeks, months. Okay, the best way to prepare for a dark winter, stock up on the supplies. Have a backup plan for heating, lighting. Of course, there are other steps you can and should take as well. And a dark winter is not the only kind of emergency that might befall you. So, what sorts of emergencies should you prepare for in the winter, before the winter, to be prepared for a dark winter? Okay. Winter storms. A winter storm can cause damage to your home. Sheet ice on the roads, walkways, frigid temperatures. It's important to have an emergency kit stocked with items like non-perishables, emergency water, flashlight, extra batteries, first aid kit. So you should also have a plan for how you will stay warm if the power goes out. Have you considered purchasing a generator? I know. That's like, out of the reach of a lot of people. I get it. How about investing in alternatives like maybe a space heater, wood-burning stoves? Now, the next thing are car accidents. It's terrible to think, I understand. But slippery roads can lead to car accidents. Be sure to drive slowly, drive carefully. Increase your following distance and avoid braking suddenly. If you do find yourself in an accident, call the emergency line and wait for help to arrive. In the meantime, stay in your car with your seatbelt fastened. Turn on your hazard lights. Now, the next one is power outages. Power outages are frustrating, and they are a potentially dangerous problem that can occur at any time. But they are especially common in the winter. There are a number of reasons for this, including heavy snowfall, high winds, and ice storms. Now, as winter weather conditions can vary greatly from year to year, it is important to be prepared for the possibility of a power outage. Now, I know you're asking yourself, why are you talking about this? You live in Florida. Let's not forget, I grew up in Atlantic City. I know what I'm talking about, okay? My husband is from Philly. We know what we're talking about, all right? So, what kind of supplies should you have? All right, well, flashlight, extra batteries, a radio. Hand crank, solar, they're great, okay? You can get them on Amazon for about 20 bucks. It's where I bought mine, my little Weather Noah radio. It's great, I love it. It's battery, it's wind up, it's solar. Balls to the wall, okay? I love it. The next one, let's talk about your first aid, okay? How about non-perishables and water? Warm clothing and blankets. Now, let's, if you don't mind going to Goodwill, Salvation Army to get some extra warm blankets. They might not be the prettiest quilts, but blankets are blankets, you know what I mean? Wash them, use some extra Downy to make sure they smell good, you know what I mean? Stick them in a duvet if you must, if you have to have them pretty looking ones, but I'm just saying. Now is not the time to be bougie, okay? I would go to Goodwill or Salvation Army, okay, and pick up some of those real thick quilts, bedspreads, those type, what are they? Not bedspreads, quilts. Quilts, the fluffy ones, okay? My favorite, I love fleece. I keep fleece on my bed all year round. I don't care. I have to have fleece in order to sleep properly. Yeah, that's one thing that you now know about me. How about what about a heated blanket? Now you're probably asking yourself, well, if I don't have electricity, how am I going to? Okay, listen. Have you looked at getting the Opus, the solar power station that I have? The link is in the description box below. You can get them in all different sizes, all different price ranges. I'm telling you, amazing, okay? So if you wanted to go down the road of getting the Opus and getting some heating blankets, it's worth it. Trust me when I tell you, it's worth it, okay? If it wasn't for that darn Opus, especially when we had Hurricane Ian, I don't know. That's all I have to say, okay? Overcompensator just went by the house. Yeah. One thing about living in Tampa Bay. Anyway, the next thing, let's talk about shovel and ice melt. What is it? Salt rock, okay? Fire extinguisher. Now, what should you keep in your vehicle? What about one of those fold-up shovels, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave links to all these little things in the description box below. Even if you don't buy it, at least click on the link and you'll see what I'm referring to, a fold-up shovel, okay? Military use fold-up shovels. So, they're good to have. They really are. Flashlight and road flares, all right? Blankets, always keep blankets in the car, even if it's just a throw blanket, like the ones that you keep on the couch, on the back of the couch, a throw blanket. Food and water. Now, when I say food and water, just like granola bars, okay? Things like that. Keep another first aid kit in the car. Now, how to winterize your home. Okay. Now, this I would think would depend on where you live. Because to winterize your home, I remember when we were looking at a house in Alaska, because we were going to move to Alaska, and I remember the realtor saying, "Oh, well, the house has already been winterized." Excuse me? What does that even mean? They put antifreeze in the pipes in the plumbing. What? Okay. You know, I never would have even thought about doing something like that, but I guess they have to do that there. Yeah. So check your heating system. Okay. One of the most important things you can do in order to winterize your home is to have a heating system checked by a professional. Okay. Unless you are well versed in this, please have a professional do it. A well-functioning heating system is essential for survival in the winter, okay? An annual tune-up by a qualified technician. This is something that we go through down here in Florida, but not in the winter. Right before it starts to heat up, we have our AC tuned up to make sure it is in perfect working condition, because I can't tell you, or actually I can tell you, what it's like for the AC to go down and it's 115 degrees outside. There is no such thing as cooling down. You know what I mean? So, seal any drafty areas. What I do here for the drafty areas, because you don't want the cool air to get out, I caulk my windows every single year on the inside and the outside. So this is just another way to winterize your home as well. Drafty windows, doors, they can let the cold air, the hot air, okay? So sealing any drafty areas in your home, you know, please do that. Insulate your home. Now, this is easier said than done unless you are, like I said, well versed in this area. You know, like up in your attic and things like that, okay? So the next thing is to stockpile the firewood, okay? Start getting your cords of wood in, okay? The next thing is to start preparing your vehicles. Now, your car, your truck, your minivan, your SUV, okay, isn't just for getting around town, okay? It can also be your life-saving tool in an emergency situation. Be sure to keep it fueled up and in good working order so it's ready to go when you need it. All right. In addition, keeping a winter survival kit in your car means like blankets, clothes, food and water, flares, first aid kit. All right. Now, have an emergency plan in place for, God forbid, you do have to bug out. Okay. This should include a list of essential items that you will need in an event of an outage. Flashlights, batteries, non-perishables, things like that, okay? Now, you might want to designate a room in your home as a safe place in case of an outage. Now, what I mean is this one room in your home, because, you know, body temperatures, everybody being in one room, you'll be able to stay warm. Make sure in this one room you have enough blankets and pillows and a source of heat, such as a fireplace or a wood stove, okay? Now, stock up on your non-perishables. Have enough of your medications for at least a week. I know, but sometimes that's all you can get. You know what I mean? Especially when there's an emergency situation like blackouts, things like that. Now, stay hydrated. It's very important. Fill up the car with gas. Never let it go below a half a tank. Okay? Dress in layers. Okay? I love the long sleeve t-shirts and then putting a hoodie over top of it. You know, that's just, it's my way to go when it's cold out, you know, that type of thing. Wearing the fuzzy socks and then putting my slippers on. Girl, you know that I'm comfy that way. But keep also cash on hand, because with blackouts and things like that, power grid is out. There's not going to be ATMs or credit cards that are in use. So make sure you have cash on hand, okay? Also, never travel alone, because if something happens, if you hit ice or something like that and you're by yourself, better safe than sorry. You know what I mean? always stay informed, okay? Especially if you have your little hand crank radio, always stay informed. At least you know what's going on in your area, okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fear less. Ciao.